Alright guys, welcome back. We're in video 3 here already of our 30-day Get Shredded Challenge. Today what we're going to cover is the concept of intermittent fasting. So this is one of the more unique concepts that we're taking into this 30-day Get Shredded program that sets this apart from the nutrition challenge and other things like that, aside obviously from how comprehensive everything else is. This is going to be a bit of a change for some of you guys, but this is a huge way to ignite progress with fat loss, intermittent fasting. Let me just start with what is fasting. Think of fasting as people not eating for several days on end to protest something or for whatever reason. Fasting is simply the concept of not eating food for extended periods of time. A lot of people think that you need to eat every 2 to 3 hours in order to lose fat because that will rev up your metabolism. It's actually not true. Metabolism doesn't really work that way. Metabolism is changed by working out and sleep, actually. The amount, the timing of when you eat your food doesn't really affect your metabolism. How many calories or macronutrients you take in total throughout the day, that can affect it. But let's stop thinking how we have to eat every 3 hours in order to maintain a higher metabolism. It can actually be extremely detrimental to your progress, especially if you're eating denser carbohydrate sources of food every 3 hours, because you're getting an insulin spike over and over and over throughout the day, which is restoring and maintaining fat over and over and over throughout the day. So we're going to utilize this intermittent fasting concept. So it breaks down into 2 categories. Intermittent fasting creates the concept of using stored fat as energy. It leads to that much more readily. And more of a mental or emotional side of things, it helps with hunger control, which is maybe just as important, if not the most important concept for a lot of you guys out there. So what I'm going to do is touch on hunger control first. I want you to take away this quote. I want you to really let it sink in. Hunger, from a biological standpoint, from a survival standpoint, hunger is a feeling. It is not an emergency. A lot of times we start to get those hunger pains or hungry feelings, and mentally and emotionally we start to break down as an individual and we think, oh, we have to eat right now or we're going to die. Not going to happen, right? Just remember when you start to get those hunger feelings that it is just a feeling, not an emergency, okay? Over time, what you'll do is get better at coping with that feeling, and then even more down the road, you'll stop having those hunger pains so often. Your body is conditioned to what you've done to it. So if you've been eating every 3 hours or eating a lot of junk food lately, your body is conditioned to expect that and ask for that. So there's going to be a bit of a curve getting used to this new process, but hang in there. I promise you it will get easier over time. All right, so the main concept here, using stored fat as energy. Why does intermittent fasting do that so much? So what we're going to apply is a morning fasting process, okay? So we're gonna wake up, let me back up. When you go to sleep, you sleep for 7 to 8 hours. Obviously you're not eating during that time, so your body is technically fasting during those 7 hours. When we wake up, we're gonna wait to eat just a few more hours. Instead of eating breakfast right away and spiking that insulin right away and starting the fat storage process right away, we're gonna wait a little bit longer just to really hammer home that fasting process. We're going to ask you to do an at-home WOD, one of those easy 5, maybe 10 minutes at the most, probably less, easy body weight WODs in order to, again, really hammer home the fasting process, storing fat as energy. And then a little while after we finish that at-home WOD, we will eat. All right? What's nice is because we get our body moving, if you are waking up feeling hungry and having hunger pains like that, getting your body moving, doing just even that short, easy workout tends to relieve that feeling. You stop thinking about how you're hungry, and you just work through the WOD, and before you know it, you're done in 5 minutes or so, and you're still not hungry. So this will really help with that, as well as obviously the physiological positive side effects. So we're going to break it down exactly what this looks like in a day. Now these are just general numbers that can be adjusted to whatever your schedule is. But these are just some numbers I threw down on paper. Here's our example. Let's say you eat dinner at 7:30 p.m., finish around 8 p.m. That's when the fasting is going to start. Your last meal of the night, really important that we understand no more eating for the rest of the night before you go to bed. No snacks, no nothing, you're done, okay? That might be difficult for you. For me, that was a hard concept to get used to. I was used to having dinner and then going back and having a snack. Stop it, all right? Again, your body will get conditioned and get more used to it, and it'll be easier over time. Around 9 p.m., I have us doing an at-home WOD, 5 to 10 minutes long at the most, and then jumping in the shower obviously after that. I'm in bed by 9:30 p.m. at the latest, reading, prepping for bed. We'll cover sleep in a future video and how that can play an important role in this whole process. That's for the future though. But we're in bed by 9:30, asleep by anywhere from 10 to 10:30. We're sleeping from 10 to 10:30, I have till 6 a.m. Again, that's 8 hours of fasting just during sleep alone. You're not putting any work, you're just sleeping. All right? We wake up around 6 a.m. We're gonna do that at-home WOD again, maybe a different one at 6:30 a.m. or it can be right when you wake up, whatever. So again, if you're waking up and feeling those hunger pangs, get moving on that WOD because again, that will really help fight off those cravings for food in the morning. We finish our WOD, we have our shower, and we go about our day. We'll finally allow ourselves to eat at 8:30 to 9 a.m. So if you do the math here, we started fasting after dinner at 8 p.m., went to bed all the way through sleep at 6 a.m. We woke up and did a WOD, still not eating anything yet, and finally ate at 9 a.m. If you do the math, that's 13 hours of fasting. However, it's not going to really feel that way because the majority of the time fasted was spent while you were asleep. However, you still receive the same positive benefits from it. So it's kind of taking that social emotional side of things and tweaking it so that we can still get those same benefits without necessarily starving ourselves for a whole day. So we're going to eat at 9 a.m. This might be a little unusual for some of you guys. Maybe you're going to need to eat at work. Again, I'll go back to the first thing I said on the nutrition guidelines. I didn't say it was going to be easy. I said it will be worth it. So maybe you need to pack your breakfast and take it to work and eat it at your desk or whatever. Just nibble something. You'll be surprised. You probably won't even be that hungry by then. But it is important that you still eat something even if you're not hungry. Okay? Because we need to fuel that body because assumingly we're going to work out later, whether it's a CrossFit class or not. Okay? I've got on here a little bullet point of coffee. Coffee makes the world go round, man. I couldn't live without it. I know a lot of you guys are the same way. You are free to drink coffee anytime after you wake up. What I want you to stay away from are those artificial creamers, number one, because it's not on the nutrition guidelines anyways. For me personally, I buy 100% whole milk, organic, and it's expensive, but you buy them in small little things and they last forever. I'll be honest and tell you, I put a little, I would guess it'd be 2 tablespoons at the most into my coffee in the morning. Because it's such a low amount of calories, your body's still going to be in a fasted state. So you can do that if you want to. I recommend going black coffee if you can, but it's important to not get carried away. Know yourself then, right? If a little swish of whole milk in your coffee is going to ignite the whole hunger process and the wheels are going to fall off, then don't do that to yourself, okay? Also, if you're coming to a morning class, you got to kind of know yourself. Can you do coffee on an empty stomach, go to the morning class and still be all right? Personally, I can. I know some people that struggle with it, okay? We'll cover working out in the morning versus working out in the afternoon and how that changes some things for people, right? If you're doing more details on that in the future, but just to touch on it real quick, obviously if you're doing a 6 a.m. class, we don't need to do the at-home WOD in the morning in that particular case. You would still do the one before you go to bed, really easy, straightforward, but that's it, okay? So those are your guidelines for intermittent fasting. We're going to follow this process, the example I gave, most days. Not every single day. Again, I'm giving you a guideline that will take you through exactly what to eat, when to eat, what time of the day, every day. There will be days where we'll let you eat breakfast. But for the most part, more days than not, we will be trying this intermittent fasting process. And you will definitely see how it gets easier as you go. It's all in your head. Thank you.